Yeah, these FBA people is losing their minds. So apparently now I'm an immigrant. I'm not from America. My parents are immigrants. And I'm not Black American. I'm trying to infiltrate the Black community. Child, go tell that to my family who own land down in North Carolina near Lumberton. Go tell them that they immigrants and they not from here and they not Black American. Because we own land. So I'm just saying, y'all are crazy. You sitting here telling a Black American that they're not Black American because they don't agree with what you agree with. It's giving MAGA. It's giving cult. It's giving very low vibrational. Very. Even reading some of y'all comments, that's just like somebody commented. One of y'all people, a guy, commented on my post and said, "You just a random Black girl. You could die today and get hit by a truck." I'm clutching my pearls because is that a threat? Like, is that a threat? And then he said something else, but he just kept like repeating that you're a Black girl, you're random, and you could die today. And it's like, dude, okay, you're blocked because you ain't finna be over here talking crazy on my page. This my shit. So don't ever think you won't get blocked over here. If you comment a little too much or say something that's just like, what? I will block you. And then find your way back. Find a way back over here. But yeah, these people is crazy, y'all. Y'all is, yeah. I ain't gonna categorize y'all into one group, but y'all need to check some of y'all people FBA, because y'all, it's giving off cult, it's giving off crazies, it's giving off very low vibrational.
When I see a disrespectful African or immigrants, I know them. Like that one you just watched is a disrespectful immigrant. Now look at a very grateful immigrant in this video.
I want to make this video because I am the dichotomy of Africa and Black America, right? And I'm always going to keep saying the way that people keep disrespecting Black Americans, me being African, I see the way Africans disrespect Black Americans. You guys, see, Africans, the way you guys are always so interested in becoming your white oppressors, even to the counterpart that helped free you. Essence Festival is the pure display of that. First, a Kenyan woman to come in and open her mouth and say, "Oh, we're making it back to its African roots." Girl, when was it ever not in its African roots? When was it ever not in its African roots? Who are Black Americans? Are they not African? I keep saying, Africans, the only reason why you are in America and you are able to have access to wealth, opportunity, success is because of Black Americans. Black Americans are the reason why any of you have an opportunity in America. And the way you guys are seriously disrespecting Black Americans, it don't reach level where I, as an African American, I have had enough of Africans disrespecting Black Americans. What is wrong with you people? What is really going on?
Do Africans hate African Americans?
Let's talk about it. When it comes to African American culture, I love it. And I'm not going to give you like the highlights of the music, the culture, the swag, right? Those things is permanent, right? It's always going to be there. But what I find very interesting about African Americans is the fact that when it comes to raising awareness and being on the front line for oppression, they are number one every single time. My best friends, right? They are African Americans. As an African male, I never look at African Americans lesser than. I still look at them as equals, as my brothers and sisters or my cousin. I grew up here. I've been called all these names and all these things, right? But at the end of the day, I never took it personal to where I had a disdain for African Americans. You guys are amazing people. If it wasn't for you guys and the civil rights movement, right, a lot of races of people would not be in the U.S. today. You did that, African Americans. And as an African, man, I love you guys. I love the culture. I indulge in the culture, from the swag to how I carry myself and everything else, right? It's a blender of African and African American culture, which I love. Thank you guys, by the way. He was right. He was right.
Beware of Black people and stay away from them. They are not good people is one of the first things that my mom was told when she came to this country. I am a first-generation immigrant child. My parents came here back in 1993 after the Somali War. My parents came here as refugees, and they were taught the ways of the Americans by white people who were helping them stay in hotels, giving food, shelter, etc., etc. My mom told me a lot of things that the guides would tell them. They would say, these people, they're black, they get into a lot of crimes. I wouldn't suggest that you mess around with them. One day my mom was taking a permit class, and just like the jail yard, the black people were together, the Mexicans were together, the Africans were with the Africans, the Asians with the Asians, whatever. And as the instructor was talking about, driving and on the road, she said, just make sure that you're paying attention. And for you, she pointed to the Asians and said, don't laugh when you're driving. Don't smile. So yeah.
You just watched that, right? That is also an African. And that is to tell you that not every African is the same. Not every immigrant is the same. I know there's this saying that Black Americans have no allies. And to be honest, to some extent, I believe that. Because I've seen so many yappings online. Like, I've seen so many immigrants, not just blacks now, not just Africans alone. Now, I've seen even Asians, right? Latinos, Hispanics. I've seen them done several kind of videos online that is very annoying, that made me feel, okay, if majority of these people could be seeing this, then Black Americans have every right to be angry and say, okay, they have no allies. Let's watch these videos and then I'll be back with what I want to say. Make sure you're sticking to this video, okay?
Hey man, enough is enough. A lot of you Africans, Nigerians, and other black folks that's part of the diaspora, y'all come over to America and then disrespect us and say we have no culture, but then you benefiting from our culture. What is wrong with y'all, fam? Like, stop disrespecting us. And then y'all wonder why black folks have collectively decided that, hey, we don't have any allies, and with everything that's going on in the country, we mind our own black business. All right? We sitting down. We get disrespected by every single person. And then y'all come over here acting like the white man to us, telling us how we can't feel and what we can't say and all those. Nah, bro, y'all out y'all goddamn mind. But then y'all get mad when people decide to, Black Americans decide to be FBA, Foundational Black American. It is Black Americans that fought for y'all, for y'all to even have the rights that y'all have. All right, y'all leave y'all country, come over here and then disrespect us. But we supposed to be kumbaya? We supposed to be the same people? We all black. Let's get along and tag along. Nah, F that, bro. All right? Stop disrespecting us. Stop saying we have no culture. Why y'all keep coming over here? Why y'all keep coming over here and then disrespecting us? But then when some stuff going down, y'all want us to hold hands and kumbaya. Let's all just get along. Nah, bro. Nah, we done with that, bro. That's why black folks in America have no allies. We are on our own. And I stand 10 toes down on what I'm saying. If you got a problem with it, I don't care. Stitch the video. Do whatever you want with it. I don't care. I'm tired of this. Every day y'all saying something crazy about it. I'm coming across a whole bunch of videos. Y'all just steadily disrespecting us. Nah, bro. We not the same.
The only allies that Africans truly had were Black Americans. The only allies that Caribbeans truly had were Black Americans. But they went and fucked that up. They rather align themselves with the group of people who are destroying their countries, aka milk people. They rather align themselves with them than align themselves with the most powerful group of black people on earth. We have the most influence on earth. We can make you look bad or we can make you look good. And we've been making Africans look very good for a long time. But now, since they are so rude and have so much animosity and so much disdain for Black Americans, we aren't going to do that anymore. We are not their allies anymore. So who is their allies? Africans have no allies. Caribbeans have no allies now. They come over here to America and they take part in our culture. They emulate us. But when we cut that axe off, who are they going to emulate? Who's going to represent them on the world stage? They have no allies now. Who's going to speak up for them? Not us.
Breaking news you can use, folks. You're going to want to hear this. Mexican Americans often proclaim that they are allies of the black community and always have been. However, historically, that isn't true. In fact, it's very well documented that they fought to be separated from black people. Their fight to do so actually is what started the groundwork for Brown versus the Board of Education, and not in a good way for Black people. What I mean by this, folks, is that Mexican Americans were segregated in America, and they argued that they're not Negroes, and the 14th Amendment states that they cannot be segregated if they're not Negroes. They won this case, and Mexican Americans were allowed to immigrate into white schools. That's right, folks. They didn't argue that segregation was wrong, just that they shouldn't be included in it. And you may say, well, that was the white Mexicans. Well, you'd be wrong. While it is true that it was the lighter-skinned Mexican elites who pushed for this whiteness in court, they had the full backing of all the dark-skinned Mexicans as well. Now, the lighter-skinned Mexicans benefited more from this whiteness title, but it did apply to all Mexicans regardless of their skin color. In fact, in the early 1900s, America added Mexican to the census, and after great pushback from Mexicans themselves, they removed it and put back the categorization for Mexicans as white. It wasn't until the 1960s Black founded and led civil rights movement, where Black people were fighting for equality for all, that the younger brown-skinned Mexicans realized we won't ever be considered as white. Let's make our own movement copied from the Black Panther movement and call it the Brown Berets. And while they're saying Black Power, we'll make sure there's a distinction and say Brown Power. So with the help of the Black Panthers, they started the Brown Berets. And all of a sudden, the past almost 2 centuries of them trying to assimilate to whiteness by separating themselves from Blackness and including themselves in the oppression of Black people was erased and forgotten. And now, in 2025, as the Mexican Americans go through deportation, they look at Black people and say, "Where are you?" To that I ask, where were you? And of course, out of their back pocket, they'll pull the "we were there for you" during the Underground Railroad, where 3,000 to 10,000 escaped Black slaves entered into Mexico. A great argument until you realize that was prior to them coming to America after the liberation of Mexico, them trying to liberate themselves only by assimilating into whiteness. In addition, that freedom was also conditional for Black people, meaning they had to join the military a lot of times in order to remain free. There were quotes from Black escapees that stated things like, "We were free, but it was conditional." They weren't being bought and sold, as slavery by law was illegal in Mexico, but they were being used. And folks, I do think it's important to note that the Chicano movement, which is the Mexican movement after they realized they can't be white, that led to the Brown Berets, their only focus was on the liberation of Mexican people, unlike the Civil Rights Movement, which was focused on liberation of all. They also made sure there was a distinction between we are not Negroes, we are brown. Then, like all other racial groups, when they want some type of liberation, they drew parallels between their struggle and the Black struggle. Folks, so either way, what Mexican Americans have historically done is position themselves in opposition to Black American people in order to gain their liberation. So they reference themselves as niggas now, but they fought like hell to not be called nigga for hundreds of years. This has been Crystal Black with news you can use. Toodaloo.
I saw this video of this young lady talking about the genocide that's going on in Congo, and she was just going on. She's like, where's our solidarity? Where is our support? Where is our activism? Where is our allies? And I felt her, but my question is, where are the fellow Africans? Because Congo is just one country in the continent of Africa that's surrounded by other countries, that's surrounded by other continents that also have black populations, because y'all love to let us know that black people are everywhere like we didn't fucking know that already. So while there's genocide going on in Congo and Gaza, they over in Nigeria and shit having these lavish ass weddings, getting showered in money and luxury, but be having so much to fucking say about how black Americans don't give a fuck about each other and how we do each other to excuse their unprovoked hate and disrespect towards us. He's so ununified and all these whitewash stereotypes when we the ones that motherfucking forefronted the movements to help bring worldwide attention to the shit that was going on in Congo and Gaza and Palestine. Where the fuck was y'all during the civil rights movement? Right is right, wrong is wrong. Genocide is fucking wrong no matter what the fuck is going on in the world type shit. That's a question that you should have for each other and the rest of the fucking diaspora, because we do our goddamn part. Instead of being upset and making rage bait towards black African Americans, why not take a break and use your platforms to advocate and help bring attention to fucking Congo? The black Brits worried about the motherfucking black Americans and black Scottish getting along, trying to cause further division within the black community, within the fucking diaspora, when they can be motherfucking bringing attention to Congo and shit that's going on over there across the water. Like I said, us as black Americans do our motherfucking part. I just saw Mark Lamont Hill talk about how some of his motherfucking colleagues have lost their lives from reporting on what's going on in places like Gaza and Congo and shit like that. But y'all hate black Americans so motherfucking much, but love everything we do, that y'all can't help but to fucking watch just so y'all can talk shit because y'all too prideful to ever give us our props. It's the same shit y'all try to condemn us for, y'all do. When George Floyd was unalive, our entire nation rallied in the motherfucking streets behind him to the point other countries began protesting and shit. That's the type of motherfucking influence that we have. But y'all got literal genocide going on in y'all backyard, but worried about black Americans and Scots getting along or us not liking Tyler. Like, her message may have not been directed towards black Americans, but I kind of feel like it was, because we have the biggest social media presence and garnish the most results. When we talk, people listen. We literally saw this app go to... Shut up! My bad, but we literally saw this app crash in less than 24 hours without us. Like, they went from celebrating that we was finna get off the app to grieving us being gone to celebrating that we fucking came back. Y'all know what the fuck going on, and that's why y'all really hate us, because y'all think that black Americans think that they are that, when it's like the proof is in the fucking pudding. Like, the truth could never be a diss. But yeah, stop trying to use black on black crime as a dig to motherfucking black Americans when there's literal genocide going on within Africa, and there's African countries that's not doing shit about it. When I say nothing about it, I mean standing in solidarity and advocating for the people. But yeah, y'all be blessed though. Mind you, Africa is 3 times the size of the US. I ain't saying motherfuckers shouldn't support and stand in solidarity outside of Africa, but y'all shouldn't have to look outside of fucking Africa. That bitch so motherfucking big, and they got so many motherfuckers in that bitch. Like, y'all should have all the goddamn support y'all need. But because y'all fucking don't says a lot, but motherfuckers always got something to say about black American when we supposedly is the smallest fucking population.
This video is for all my fellow black sisters, especially black women in America. This whole issue of the passport bros and the rise of, Filipina and Thai women disrespecting black women emphasizes a particular point. The point is, we have white women, we have women of color, and we have black women. Dear black women, we do not have allies. And this particular situation has reinforced this notion. I say this because a few black women on a podcast made this comment.
The passport bros, like, they're getting women from like the DR, Colombia,
Yes.
The Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education, women that need them.
And instead of the women from these countries, the majority of them, to put her comment into context, to understand the context in which these black women were speaking, they decided to take what she said out of context. She never said all women in these countries. She said the passport bros. These are a specific group of men who are not lucky or struggling to find a wife in their own country. Therefore, they go outside their country, specifically targeting women in developing countries as wives. That is the context. But most of you missed the context because you relished the opportunity to disrespect black women. And this particular situation with the passport bros provided the right opportunity. Dear black women, let us focus on ourselves. Let us build ourselves. Most of you are ahead in terms of education. Get your education. Your education will not come on TikTok and other social media platforms disrespecting you. Let us start walking. Let us start moving. Let us start getting in shape, because they claim that most of us are out of shape. And let us focus. Black women, let us close our private parts. Close your legs. Focus on yourself. Build capacity. And if possible, diversify. But this is not to say all black men. But you see, there is an increasing rate of black men coming on social media disrespecting their women. Black women are the only race of women who consistently get disrespected by our men. And to the Filipino women and the Thai women who are taking jabs at black women and being disrespectful, just remember that any group of men who would disrespect women who look like their mothers, women who look like their sisters, and women who look like their daughters just to make you feel special are definitely not men that have the kind of character that you should be watching out for. But since most of you want them, best of luck. It's a match made in heaven. But just remember, keep the same energy when you marry these black men and you have biracial children and your children are going through an identity crisis and you need black women to educate you on how you can teach your biracial children to accept their black side. Keep the same energy. And this is specifically for the Asian women who have been rebattling black women on the passport bros and using the word racism. Black people cannot be racist. Racism is about prejudice and systemic power. Black people do not have systemic power. Therefore, it is those who have proximity to whiteness that also benefit from white privilege, which structures the systems in society. Even though most of you were offended that the black sister said you are not educated, you are not smart enough to identify that a black person cannot be racist. My name is Dr. Zita. I am a sociologist, and I said what I said unapologetically. Dear black women, happy Black History Month. I love you all. Let's keep supporting each other and loving on each other and keep building capacity. Take care and happy Black History Month.
I see that Beyonce has the internet in a tizzy. And I will say what I've been saying for a very, very long time. History is whooping y'all tail. It is whooping y'all tail. Okay? Listen, this is something that every person of color needs to understand. Anyone that is not black, that is a part of a minority people group here in the United States of America. All of you participated in the forward progression of the oppression of black people. Every single one of you. Native Americans, Asians, South Asians, Italians, Irish, right? Like, everybody that was considered less than also considered yourself less than others but better than blacks. Every single one of you. Every single one of you. Every single one of you. History is complex and people are complex. Two things can be true at the same time. The Native Americans were almost extinct and the Native Americans were also owning slaves. Uh-oh. Blacks. African Americans. Yeah. So it's very funny to me that Native Americans thought they were always our allies. You weren't. You weren't. Because the reality is this, right? Let's think of it in a logical manner, right? The Native Americans, Trail of Tears, everybody is almost extinct. Okay? Like, majority of the Native American tribes was almost extinct on this Trail of Tears. All right? These white people, they came in, took over your land, killing and slaughtering all of these people and all of these livestock. At the same time, they put you guys off into these concentration camps, right? And then they're bringing in droves of these other people, hundreds and hundreds of these black people that are coming off on boats. Okay, mind you, the Native Americans are a people that have already been traumatized, greatly traumatized by white people. And they are seeing them bring over all of these other people. What makes you think that Native Americans was going to be like, oh my gosh, white people are doing something bad to these other strangers that we don't know. We must save them. Is that what y'all thought? What? No. No. Why would they have any reason to defend these black people that are clearly taking the brunt of whatever angst and anger that was once directed at them. Native Americans are like, oh, baby, we need to stay out the way. We need to stay out the way. We don't know who these new people are, but they are definitely, they taking some licks. We just need to sort ourselves out over here, okay? And then there was Native Americans that was like, well, let's see about this whole slave owning thing. Huh? I'm only half Native American, so maybe I'm a little white passing. Maybe I can also profit off of this, right? Yeah. So listen, the fact that you don't know this part of your history, holding your hand, looks like you're also a victim of misinformation. If you thought that Native Americans were always the allies of black people, crazy. Some black people weren't always the allies of black people. Hello? Yeah, no, you weren't always our ally, Bookie Bear. So yes, the Buffalo Soldiers did have to round y'all up. Because y'all was still holding on to slaves as if the 13th Amendment didn't exist, boo. So yes. So to be quite clear, I don't want anybody to misunderstand what we are saying, okay? And what Beyonce is saying. What Beyonce is saying is that during that time period, your Native American ancestors were racist and oppressors. Very clear. There's a period there, not a question mark. Okay, that's a statement. I'm not confused. It's what we call Black history. Also known as American history. But there's also history that your people may not want to talk about because it's not the cutest part. Instead of getting online and being outraged, thinking that everything is a lie, how about we do some research? Because the only thing that your Native American outrage is doing is proving a point that you don't know American history either. And that also, you may not know your history. Not everybody was our ally. And once again, I can understand why this exists. I just outlined the Native American plight at that time. They were seeking self-preservation. And if I'm a Native American and y'all done wiped out all of these centuries long of tribes, and all of a sudden, all of these people that look totally different than what I've ever seen is coming off of the same boats as these white people that have actively killed off the... Oh, yeah. Yeah, you inherited the beef. So black people unknowingly walked into beef that they didn't even know. Like, we're oppressed walking into beef. You see what I'm saying? Let's think. It is very easy to understand two people doing the same thing for two different reasons. And to this day, people of color, foreigners, come into the United States and they integrate by looking down on African Americans. That's how you integrate. To show that you're not like us. So you try to separate yourself as much as possible. So you try to overturn things like, I don't know, affirmative action. So glad I could help.
What I need black Americans to understand is that we don't have no diaspora unity and we don't have any POC allyship. These past few days, even weeks, when you get on TikTok, all you see is black Americans being slandered by every other racial group and ethnicity group.
We got Africans trying to tell us our history and that, and where we come from, and all this other stuff. Then you got the whole Zulu parade argument with the South Africans, and then you got the West Africans joining in, all kind of stuff. Then you got us going against the Native Americans. Then you got us going against the, the Mexicans, the Arabs, and the freaking Chinese and Asians. When are we gonna realize we have no allies? And I really want us to stop thinking that. Like, we really don't have any allies. We're at the bottom of the barrel and nobody likes us. That's why they're all attacking us at once. All these other racial groups and all these other ethnicities are literally ganging up to go against us. And y'all don't see it? I guess I'm the only person that sits here and sees it. Every time I see a live on TikTok, it's always mentioning us. Black Americans this, Black Americans that, African Americans this. And it's like, bro, we're literally the topic of the conversation. These people know who we are, they know the power we hold, and they know that we're awakening, and they're trying to suppress that because everybody benefited from us not knowing who we are and not knowing our true power. And now that we're tapping into it, it's making them mad. And that's why they're attacking us. Y'all gotta lock in. Whether a lot of them want to admit it or not, a lot of these other racial groups and ethnicity groups need us to survive. And now that we're not giving them that survival no more, they're going crazy, bro. I'm telling y'all. Watch what happens when we stop investing to the Arab stores, the Chinese stores, and the African stores. Watch what happens. I promise you it's going to get worse. Their true colors are really going to show. Stop paying your taxes. The Native Americans won't get funded no more. A lot of these foreign countries won't get any more aid from the United States because guess who money that they're sending overseas? Our money. Come on now, you gotta lock in. It's time for us to realize that this whole world relies on our back. This whole world functions because of us. And once we take that power back, it's gonna be over with for everybody else. They're not gonna know what to do. But guess what? We always gonna survive. So stop arguing with all these people. Stop going back and forth with these people because it's not worth it. They're upset. They're angry. They're jealous. They're miserable because they know who we are and they're trying to keep us from finding out who we are.
Yeah, exactly what I said. No allies, right? But now I don't like the fact that so many of you have to take this at heart. I've said it here in my videos rather, that whatever happens, happens because you are chosen, right? And now there's an awakening happening out there. A lot of people who don't know what it is are now knowing what it is for real, right? Now, looking at blacks, Africans. I'm speaking for Africans because I'm African, right? Who come to America, right? With the whole notion that the God they serve is white. And now they come there and they see this white person and they be like, no, this person might be assistant to Jesus Christ, or probably Jesus's cousin, Jesus's auntie, uncle, or nephew, thereabouts. They tend to idolize the white man. And that is where the problem is coming. Now, Black Americans see that as really, really insult, looking at the fact that these guys actually fought for other people to be able to come into America, and then they come in there and they're not giving them the respect they deserve, right? It makes them feel really, really bad. But now, I want you to understand that these things are almost in the past right now. You're free to make African friends, you're free to make diasporan friends, right? As Black Americans, you're free to make so many friends right now. So many people are beginning to know that we were whitewashed, right? A lot of people are beginning to know, these Black Americans are really good people. Whoa, they told us this about them. These guys weren't like this, these people weren't like that. And that is what we are in right now. And that's why I keep calling for this unity, right? I keep calling that my fellow Black Americans, you guys should just, calm down a little, calm down a little. We can still be friends, to be honest. We can still be friends. We can do things together. And I want you to know that back here in Africa is all love, to be honest. Like, the love here is massive. And I just hope one day you come to Africa. I'm speaking for Africa because I'm African, right? I just hope you come to Africa one day, just for a visit. I'm not saying come stay in Africa. And then you see things for yourself, okay? I don't want you all to be feeling you guys are not loved. To be honest, if you are to be deported, or maybe, God forbid, what they were planning to do, like in Chicago, was really, really true, and they came for you guys, you would have seen the way Africans will stand up for you guys. I'm telling you, everywhere. The protest. Remember when they did the whole Black Lives Matters? It was like an African something, right? So that is it. I want you to know that you all are still loved. To be honest, you all are still loved. I don't like this whole Black Americans have no allies and all of that. I don't like hearing it because I am your ally and I'm African, right? So I want to see that in the comments. Do you think you've really met good African people who are kind to you? Because of course, we are still having people getting married to Black Americans from Nigeria. We still have Black Americans who still come back here to get married. So I still believe there's still good ones, right? I want you to tell me your experience in the comment section. Whatever it is, you're going to get the help from me. And do not forget, it's always Global Gist with Beejay, your friend, your sister. I'll be right here for you and with you all the time. Keep subscribing, liking, and sharing my videos. I'll see you next time.